All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Today, doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing some back testing, which is, of course, something I always, recommend people to do. I think it's a really important aspect to successful trading, and so we're going to do some. I've got a couple things that I wanted to discuss based on some of my recent conversations in regards to the differences between trading things like foreign exchange or trading things like stock indices or trading things like gold. Each of these things have nuances. They have specific, kind of ways of doing things or ways of behaving, I should say. Certain markets have more volatility, other markets have less volatility. And so I think it really is important that whatever you trade, whether it is gold or Forex or stocks or indices, whatever you trade, it's important that we are actually testing those concepts thoroughly. So today we're going to do some back testing, and I'm going to be using Forex Tester Online, which is definitely my favorite back testing software that I've come across. And we'll be discussing just how we can do exactly what I've discussed, some back testing. We'll do it by example here. So first and foremost, what we're looking at is a browser-based tool. What you can do here is once you're in your Forex Tester dashboard, you can hit new project and you can essentially put yourself back in time, which is what we're going to do here today. We're going to put ourselves back in time and we're going to simulate some trading on various things that we want to trade. So my plan here today was to do some back testing of both things like gold and the indices, and then also to back test some Forex. For the people who are early to the show, we've just kicked off for the day. If you guys could do me a favor, what do you guys want me to start with? Should I do some back testing on Forex pairs for starters, or should I do some back testing on indices and gold first? I think I'm going to do a little bit of all of it, show off some of the features here with the tool, and I'll also do some examples of strategy testing. Good morning, guys. Good to see you in here. Thank you for being a part of the show. Today, again, doing something a little bit different. It's Friday. Figured we could do some back testing and try some stuff out. A little bit of all is perfect. Yeah, I agree. So we'll do a little bit of everything. We've got some requests for indices and gold first. So maybe we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's just do gold, right? So if I wanted to back test gold, what I can do here is I can look through, just select which symbol. So I'm creating a project that we're going to do our back testing in. So I just go create new project, and now I'm selecting for gold. So if I want to trade, I'm going to just do gold spot price, XAU USD, since I think a lot of people are familiar with that. And then let's put ourselves back. We could put it, you can see, you can go back far in time, but let's just go back to, I don't know, let's say like 2020. So if I go back to 2020 and I put ourselves in, let's say May 1st of 2020, and then let's see, you can set your leverage. Let's just say we give ourselves a lot of leverage just in case. Gold back test. And we're going to give ourselves $100,000, right? So you're setting up essentially a demo account that you're putting back in the past. Okay, so we just created that project. Check this out. So if we want to go into our project and get started, what you can see is it launches a very clean charting platform where we've now been put, you can see the date that we're in. I know it's a little bit hard to see. We are in April of 2020, right? So we're looking at a gold chart here back from, look at this, the price is totally different. Can you guys believe that? Okay, we went to April of 2020. Look at gold price, 1687. I don't know about you, but I wish I was buying at that point, right? So gold prices have just naturally doubled since this level. But anyways, we're looking at gold. We're looking at the 15-minute chart. We can select a different time frame. Like, let's just say we want to change to the daily chart. But then also, let's just say we also want, for reference, we want to, let's say we want to do a split screen here. So what we can do here is I can set it so that I have on my right-hand side, let's say I want the 4-hour chart. And on the left-hand side, I've got my daily chart, right? So what, sub 2K madness? Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. It's crazy to think gold doubled in 5 years. It's a slow moving asset until it's not, right? But so we're looking at gold on the left here. This is our daily chart, and I've also mirrored it up. So check this out. When I click play, chart starts moving, and it starts moving on both sides. So you can see here's my 4-hour view. Here's my and by the way, if you wanted more, you could. Like if I wanted to set more. So let's just say hypothetically in this back test, we needed to define kind of a simple rule set. And by the way, you can also see like economic data here set at the bottom. That's pretty cool that they added that as well. So you've got upcoming data releases and things like that. So for our strategy, what do we want to do here? Well, I'm going to backtest exactly the way I typically trade. Now, the difficulty here with fundamental analysis, with the way you guys know I trade, it's going to be a little tricky to map out what the exact edge finder score at that time would have been, which is core to my trading. But what I figured we could do here today was actually test more so the technical aspects of my trading, and which I think is also very important to consider. So if I'm looking at gold, for example, and I think, okay, we're in an uptrend, we're sitting at a support level, and I want to buy gold, right? And I'm actually going to, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to keep it just one time frame. And let's say that I decide, okay, based on my style of trading with gold, which is very market structure, support and resistance, stops below structure, I'm just going to say, let's say I wanted to get long here, and I can choose my size. So let's just say I want to buy, I'm in a long position, and I can very easily set a stop loss. So let's say I want to put a stop loss here, right? I've got all my hypothetical stuff set up here. And now as I click play, watch what happens here. So as I click play, let's just let this roll a little bit. The chart starts moving. So you can see, and what I also want to do is I want to show you this bottom section here. So I can see all of my criteria. I know it might be a little hard to see on the screen, so I'll read it to you. Basically, we have one buy trade open on XAU USD, a 0.1 lot, and we're floating $100 on this trade. So Andrea says, is this backtest software under A1 Trading? No, but it is a friend of my channel. Forex Tester is the product that I'm looking at. By the way, I'll have more details on how you can get access for super cheap. They're doing a very short-term, huge. So what I know about Forex Tester, I've featured them like a dozen times on my channel. They're a really great software tool, and I think it's a must-have for new traders who truly care about trading. I think this is a must-have. I think you shouldn't leave home without it when it comes to a trading software tool that really can help you grow as a trader. But I'll get to all of that in a second. But just so you know, if you want to jump ahead, if you want to check out the software I'm using, there's a promo code in the description that I'll just drop it in the chat for you. If you're interested in checking out, like if you have some time this weekend, I'm telling you, this has my stamp of approval in terms of a product I think every trader should buy. If you are serious about trading, 100%. And to make it easier, they're doing 25% off. Forex Tester doesn't do a whole lot of big discounts. At least on the past, they haven't done huge ones like this for my channel. They're doing 25% off. So they're serious, and that's only available until, well, this weekend. So if you want to try it out, highly recommend you explore it. So let's keep going with the test, right? So what you can see here is I can click play. I'm back in, bar by bar. This is a daily chart that I'm looking at. And let's say that I'm looking at this from my own style of trading, right? So I have my stop loss below structure. I have a level of support that I think looks good. I actually want to just change my colors here just to be a little bit more similar to how I usually have them set up. So let's just do that. Okay. So I've got a level of support. I've put my stop below structure, and now I'm trying to let the trade run. If it wants to run, great. If it doesn't, then I take a small loss. And so we've just had a nice push up. What I typically would do in this situation is I'll go ahead and trim my risk. Now, what did I just do there? Well, I had a risk that was down below here, and we had a nice push off this area. So as soon as we get some sort of push, I know, okay, directionally, I got the right initial thought, but I don't want to take extra risks that I don't need to take. So I've I've put my stop loss a little tighter. I don't know what the chart's going to do next, but I just want to make sure that in terms of my position, I'm defending the max loss that I could potentially take. So still stuck in a range. We've still got support seemingly holding here. There we go. Now we're pushing above. Okay. So on the close of this candle, there we go. That is my opportunity to now lock something in on this trade. So if I'm using, again, if I want to theoretically, let's put our, just for reference, there's our horizontal line. That's where we broke through, right? So if the stop wants to, or if I want to move my stop, where do I want to move it? Well, I want to move it somewhere that at least I want to see price respect this area, give or take. Okay. So my stop loss should probably go, I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move it right around here, right? So I'm locking in some profit on the trade. If the trade completely reverses and fails out from here, I will make approximately 238 bucks, right? So now if I click play, we'll see what comes next. Again, if we trail out, we take a profit. And if we keep pushing higher, then our opportunity to trail stops further may come into play. So let's just see what we've got from here. Okay, we're finding some support here. That's good. That's what we wanted to see, right? Let's see if it can continue to hold or if it doesn't hold so strong and we end up, there it is. Okay, so we're out for a profit. So there's our first trade. So now what we can do here is we can go into our, let's see, where's our closed positions? Did I miss something? Pending equity, P&L. Okay, so well, that's our overall P&L. We'll come back to this in a second when we look at the stats and stuff. So anyways, we took a trade. Let's just recap what we did and why. So support level was found here. Price moved sideways, eventually made a push higher, didn't really have a huge follow through, and actually came back and tagged us out for a profit. So we're out on the trade for a small profit. Now, if we come back down to the bottom end of that range, I may actually choose to take the trade again. I'm liking also that we found some support here. So let's keep an eye on this as well. So we've got a nice push in the right direction. Okay, so prices come down into this area. We've gotten a good reaction here. I'm willing to take a small buy. So let's say I'm back in the market. And again, I'm going to put my stop loss here. I'm going to put it below, well, I'm going to put it below where we respected previously. So right around here. So I'm risking 338 bucks on this. So if we get a break to the downside, right, and I'm just going to clean up my support levels a little bit here. Let's see what happens if we take a loss or not. Okay, so we did come down and test that area of support again, but we're now back in profit. So I'm going to keep my stop where it is. I pretty much can't tighten it too much further anyways. But I am looking for, if I'm going to be playing for a bigger win here, I'm looking for a break through these highs, right? So this high area, that's what I'm looking for. Some sort of decisive move beyond this level to get me the opportunity to trail a stop into profit. So any closure above that blue line would probably get me out, or probably, sorry, get me to trail my stop. Just consolidating, moving sideways here. And there we go. Looks like, okay, so we got the move, right? So now what we can do, again, just rinse, repeat the strategy that I use over and over and over. I've used this for years. It's very simple stuff. Now, of course, this is only the technical side, which to me, I rely heavily on fundamental analysis, but this is essentially great for the technical aspect of my trading style. So gold has made a push above this area. We found support. We had a wick lower here. We had support found. We really pushed off this 17, 18 level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stop loss and I'm going to put it right there, right? So we found support right around this area, right? If we come all the way down, really, if I wanted to be more aggressive with the stop loss, I could put the stop loss right below here. In fact, that's probably what I would do. In fact, I like that better because we did have that decisive breakout here. So I'm actually going to lock in just a little bit more on this trade. So why did I do that? Well, because again, this was a previous area of resistance that really struggled to get through. We're now testing the upper limits of the recent resistance around 1750, right? So I am looking for price. If it wants to come down and test this area, that's fine. But I really would not like to see it, crater through here, because if it were to do that, we may just go back into what has been an overall range kind of area for the last several months, right? Why are you taking buys? It's in an uptrend. Technicals look bullish, and I think gold can continue to run here. So I'm in a backtesting simulation. For those of you guys who are just tuning into the stream, I'm doing some testing. You'll actually notice that I am back in June of 2020 right now. So I'm doing a backtesting simulation on today's video sponsor, and of course one of my favorite softwares for backtesting, Forex Tester. It's an incredible tool. I mentioned this earlier, but just for those of you guys who are tuning in now, if you are interested in getting access to Forex Tester, I'm telling you, I genuinely mean this. I think every single trader who is serious about this stuff should get a copy of Forex Tester. It's not that expensive, and it's, first of all, even if it was expensive, it's worth every penny, because you know what? Most traders, they just get right on the charts and they start blowing through money. Because they don't have any sort of finite strategy. They have no back-tested results. They have no experience in charts. They just jump in thinking they're going to make a bunch of money. And they end up losing way more money than had you spent a little bit of money on a subscription of Forex Tester, tested for a couple weekends, and you'd be way better off. Because by testing, you uncover the strengths and weaknesses of your trading and your trading strategy. And if you don't have a trading strategy, there's no better way than to get on the charts and start practicing without actually losing any money, right? So it's 100% worth every penny, in my opinion. And to help you out, they're doing 25% off for subscribers of my channel. So I also want to just clear something up. Yes, this is a sponsored stream, but I don't take sponsored streams from anybody. I only take sponsored streams from products and things and sponsors that I think are worth using. And Forex Tester, in my opinion, is, one of the best investments I think a trader can possibly make, is to get themselves into a backtesting software and really try to master the charts on hypothetical trading before you try and blow money in the real markets. I mean, that's unfortunately what most traders do, is they rush into the live markets. So we're doing a back test right now. I'm going to do a little bit of gold, and then I'm going to probably switch to Forex. And I'm back testing essentially what I typically do in the markets, right? My style of trading. That's kind of what we're going to be doing here. So, okay, I'm looking at gold, and I've trailed a stop. So my stop loss is here. My initial buy entry was here. We're floating a profit of $483, and I love that it shows this. It's showing you hypothetical. Link does not work. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, guys. 1 second. Let me if the link is not working, let me double check what's going on with that. Link not working. Sorry, guys. I'll check that. Let me see. Is the link working for anybody? It's working for me. I just clicked on it. It seems to be working fine. Can somebody help me out in the audience? Is this link? I promise it's not a gimmick to get you to click the link. I'm just genuinely hoping that works okay. They sent us a link. Oh, the word valid. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Let me fix this. It works in the description. Try it now. Does that work? I appreciate the technical support from the audience. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I think the way it was pasting into YouTube here works now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, there you go. So yeah, it's NTFT 025 for 25% off. And this is all browser based, which is, so Forex Tester used to be all built in and it still is, they still have this option. You can do it in like a MetaTrader type terminal, but they've actually, with the Forex Tester Online, it just got leveled up, in my opinion. Is it only yearly subscriptions or are there monthly payments options as well? So Arvids, I would recommend you get in contact with their support if you need further help, because I don't know the exact answer to that. But I believe they offer both. And I believe the promo code that you just got shared, that 25% off, I believe, check it, but I believe it's available for both. So anyways, again, to me, there's nothing better than backtesting in Forex Tester. It beats everything else. TradingView is good. Forex Tester is for serious backtesting because it gives you so many stats. It gives you so much stats. I think it's cleaner. So anyways, and again, I'm to tell you the truth, I've been offered by both to work with both, and I choose Forex Tester every time. It's just cleaner. To me, I like it a lot more. Okay, so gold's running hot now. We got a good trade on. So we're floating 626 bucks. This is a 100K hypothetical account, so it's not a huge profit, but it's a profit. And so we've got our stop moved in. What I'm going to do now is we're going to keep this rolling. Huge breakthrough this level of resistance. I want to make this a little thicker just so we can see. Okay, there we go. That looks a little better. So I'm going to now move my stop loss here. So beautiful push. Okay. I sent a message to my staff about the link not working, and I think I freaked them out, but now we're good. All good. I just had something in the description that was not working right. The link should work now if you want to check it out. Okay. So, XAU USD is what we're backtesting. If you're just tuning in, I've got a stop loss trailed into profit here. So we had resistance. We broke out. I mean, this is a beautiful breakout higher. And I've just taken my stop loss, which was initially, by the way, down here, right? And I have trailed it in. Look, you can actually see the stop got tested. Like we didn't get hit, but it really came down on a dime just to about where our stop loss was placed under. And so this is where sometimes people will say, oh, liquidity grabs are everywhere. Well, sometimes they're not. Like, look at this. If you had waited for an entry below this low, you would have missed this trade. So everything has a pro and a con. If you want to always trade for false breakouts, that's fine when it works, but sometimes it means missing trades. So in this case, we didn't miss a trade because we're not trading for breakouts or false breakouts or liquidity sweeps or anything like that. We're not, you can test that stuff for yourself. But what I found in my testing is that stuff is fancy for extra, for not much gain in my experience in my testing. You might find something different, and based on the way you use it, liquidity, ICT, all that stuff, I found treat support as support, resistance as resistance. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay, so we are back to the highs here. We are now sitting on a $626 profit. I've got my stop loss locked in just below structure. We look really good. Now the question is, and this is like where you hold your breath. When this happens in live markets, this is where I hold my breath and I say, are you going to do it, gold? We'll see. We will see. Combining it with ATR would be great if one is too scared to become a liquidity. Cedric, yeah. And again, that's the point of this software. What if I add in ATR? What if I add in a couple moving averages? What if I add in a Bollinger Band? Does this help or hurt my performance? Backtest that, spend a couple hours working on that. It's worth every dime that you spend on the software and every hour that you spend backtesting, because if it helps you improve your trading, what is that worth? That's worth a lot. Okay, so let's see. This is where we hold our breath. We either are going to fail out. We didn't quite make it to that high. We're either going to fail out and come back and take a profit, or we're going to break through. Let's see what happens. Obviously, the more exciting is the breakthrough. Can we get some solid movement higher? And this is a question I get all the time. Is this an all-time high at that moment? Was this an all-time high? I believe. Am I wrong in thinking that maybe it wasn't an all-time high? No, it wasn't. You're right. That is correct. The all-time high was back in 2011. So we're not at all-time highs, but we are at multi-year highs at this point, guys. And so the question becomes, you don't have any structure to look at left. What do you do? I call this blue sky territory. When you're in blue sky territory, I get this question frequently. What do you do with your stop loss when you are talking about blue sky territory, meaning there's not any resistance, there's not any support structure. You're just floating up into what seems to be the void. What do you do with a stop loss? Well, here's how I do it. I'm looking for some sort of higher low, and I'll even show you a trick in a second that I like to do further. Nick, if you get 500K subs, will you give me an edge finder? It's not really how it works. It would be cool to do some sort of like fun 500K stream. I think we're so close to 500K on my channel, which is, it's insane. I think I might cry if I get 1 million subscribers someday. I don't know. I feel like that would be an emotional moment for me, because 1 million subscribers is an insane number. But luckily, we won't find out if I'm going to cry or not for a really long time, because my channel is not near 1 million subs. I've been doing YouTube since 2018. So anyways, we do have news in 5 minutes. Retail sales could move markets. I'm aware of that. I'll be coming back and doing some market commentary shortly. We're just going to finish up doing some back testing. So let's keep it moving. Excuse me. What strategy is this? Support and resistance or averaging down? Oh, let me fix my camera. So this, what I'm doing right now is definitely more support and resistance / momentum style trading. I'm testing gold. I don't know what's going on with my camera. There we go. Okay, I'm back. So, we're back testing my style of trading on gold specifically right now, which is about the same as I do on oil, silver, indices. It's a momentum style of trading, which rewards holding on to winners. It punishes everything else. Okay, so did you see what we just did right there? Did you guys see that? Look at this. These are daily candles. This is why I love the daily chart. It's so clean and so much easier to see what's happening on the daily chart to me than on like a 5 minute or 15 minute. Will you check on retail sales in 6 minutes, Nick? Yes, I will. 4 minutes now. Support here, support here, support here, support here. Look at this. We came down, tested that area, scooped into that low and shot right off it. So we look good here. Really what I could do now is, if I wanted to get fancy, I could tighten this up just a little bit. Notice how we had 2 wicks down into this area. We look, let me actually add in some support here. Okay, so we look good right around this support area. And again, what I'm showing here for people who are just tuning in, I'm back testing gold. I'm using a software called Forex Tester. It's a long-term supporter of my channel and my favorite software for back testing. And I highly recommend, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's the truth. Even if this stream wasn't sponsored, this is the software that I recommend people. But the stream is sponsored, so take it with a grain of salt. But genuinely, I always reference Forex Tester, whether they're sponsoring something or not. It's my favorite backtesting software. I think they've done a wonderful job. I've only seen them get better over my relationship with them over the last 5 years. It's been remarkable to watch their company be such a beast of a product in the trading space. And I might have to charge extra for being so nice to them. I'm totally kidding. They deserve it. They've got a really great product. I think it's doing a good thing for the trading space. What Forex Tester offers is a really good thing for aspiring traders. As someone who has gone through the mud to become a profitable trader, this is the thing you should buy, because it's worth every penny. It saves you so much time, so much money to actually spend time backtesting, and software helps you to backtest more thoroughly quicker. Okay, so off my my rant for Forex Tester for a second. We are still sitting in this gold hypothetical trade. Look at that. And this is, again, this is why I trade gold the way I trade. Is it typically, when it wants to run, it can trend really well. So I've got my stop loss locked here. I'm going to let this keep running, because if it reverses, wow, that was weird timing. If it reverses and breaks support, then I want to take profits. If it continues and we've got consolidation once more, so you've got some resistance here, if we can break above here, I'm going to look to trail further into profit. Look at that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I did not expect us to run into a runner this quick. Usually I have a lot of losses before we catch a good one, but we got a good one. So what I'm going to do now, So we found support again, right off the rip, right around this area, right? We got retail sales here in just a second. I know, I'll pull it up. Just checking retail sales numbers coming in 30 seconds. We'll just keep an eye on that. Okay, retail sales month over month expected to come in at 0.6%. We've got 20 seconds to go, and then we've got retail sales month over month. Core retail sales also important. We've had pretty mixed data here for the last few days, so let's see what we get. Just keeping an eye on this retail sales number. We've got stocks, just checking on my second monitor. A little bit of a mixed stocks, slightly higher here. Dollar mixed, gold slightly lower. We did get just a slightly softer than expected retail sales number on month over month. Gold pretty much unchanged. Dollar pretty much unchanged. Stocks slightly higher. Okay, so not a big mover, but just wanted to make sure I kept an eye on that just in case it was a surprise move. Okay, so let's keep going because honestly, this is more interesting at this point. So we're doing some testing. We're testing gold. We're talking about a momentum trading style that I use on gold, and specifically I use it on the daily chart. So when I created this back test, we're sticking to the daily chart. So we've got, again, when I started up this software, I did not expect to hit a runner like this. These are rare types of moves to get something that you can see how clean the structure is, right? Right? Clean support sort of defining itself here. He should have to answer what? Nick, it's moving now. Okay, I'm just checking just to keep an eye. Dollar is up. Okay, dollar a little bit up here. Gold a little bit lower. Not very much movement though still. It's pretty quiet moves here this morning. Is VIX lower? VIX is pretty unchanged today. NAS, S&P pretty much unchanged. Yeah. We'll take a look at markets a little bit more current in just a little bit. Let's finish up this thought on gold. So, okay, we're floating at this point, 971 bucks. The initial stop was way smaller than this. So we've caught a multiple R trade, right, relative to my initial risk. And so we've now trailed our stop here. Let's see if we can continue to see price move in our favor. There we go. Beautiful. Price is continuing to move higher. And we're looking for some sort of support to form or a higher low in which we can use as a base to trail stops further. Looks like we might be forming one right around these areas. Let's see. Okay. So we've now formed consolidation around this area. So we can rinse and repeat what we have done several times already. And I do want to be fully transparent. This is not going to be enough time in one live stream to get a full comprehensive example. We've only taken 2 trades. Now, granted, we've had a massive winner on this, and I'm going to trail stops again on this, but we have to really get a full context of how the strategy performs, whatever you're back testing. If you throw on some Bollinger Bands, if you throw on, some ICT concepts, whatever you test, right? You want to ensure that you're looking at, excuse me. You want to ensure that you're looking at a huge sample size of trades. So, okay, I'm looking at gold. I've got my stop trailed just below structure here. Let's click play. And if we get the break, look at that. Oh my goodness. I promise, guys, I did not cook the books here. I did not like look ahead at what gold was going to do. because okay. Actually, I'm glad this is hitting, because this is an example of a difficult. Actually, I'm not going to lie, within this style of trading, this is the hardest decision making. Obviously, it feels great when you have a trade that's running like this, but it's actually the hardest decision making point. For people who trade with a similar style to me, you may have come across the same challenge that I have, in this circumstance. So what do you do with a stop loss? Actually, can I ask you guys in the audience how you would, and I would encourage you to backtest whatever your answer is if you have Forex Tester. What would you do in this situation? You have a trade on. It's the best situation, right? Where you have a great trade that's running hot. What would you do in this circumstance? You don't really have, right? Here's the problem. We don't have a higher low. We don't have structure in order to trail a stop loss. Like, we don't have a consolidation. What do you do with a stop loss here? Or do you take profits? So let me ask you guys, A, do you take profits? B, do you trail to some degree? Meaning, like, you take your stop loss and, like, let's say you move it here or you move it here. Like, do you trail to some degree? C, do you take partials, right? I'm asking because I want to see what you guys say. This is actually really interesting, because this is the most challenging situation for me. Or D, do you simply wait for structure? So let me ask you guys what you do. A, B, C, or D. So let me know in the comment section. I'm really curious to hear what you guys say on this, because there is no, I'll tell you what, there's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. It's all about how you prefer to trade and how your backtesting tells you should trade. Because guess what? This is why every single person in this room, if you have not backtested, I'm telling you, if you are somebody in the audience right now who has not spent a considerable time backtesting, using a backtesting software, or doing it by hand for free, which is painstakingly slow but doable, I'm telling you, this is what makes great traders, is what we're doing right now. I know it's not as exciting as watching a news candle or, trading gold on the 1-minute chart. I get it. But if you want to be a great trader, don't leave. Stick around with me. Let's do some backtesting. It's actually so fun to me, and it should be fun to you. If backtesting is boring to you, then you're not taking it seriously enough. It should be fun. If you think about backtesting is how I build my strategy that's going to make me money, that should be not only fun, but critical. Okay, so I'm going to check out what you guys had to say. D, wait for structure. Fair. C, take half off, right? Trail with a moving average. Okay. Choke the trade out. So trail that stop, I'm guessing, is what you mean by that. C, then B. So partial profits and trail it in. Okay. Trail stops, take the profit. D, B, C. B and C is trail or partial. Trail stops, I would do a partial. C and B. D. Thank you guys for the feedback, by the way. This is awesome. Okay. So look, what I wanted to actually, the trick question here is there's no right answer. There's no wrong answers, no right answer. All of these approaches are viable. If you're somebody who's backtested, I just take profits when I catch a big winner and I move on to the next, fine. If you've tested that and that works for you, do A. If you're somebody, but again, if you are somebody in the audience and you're like, I don't really know which the best answer is, then you should be backtesting. You are 100%. If you don't have some stats, some results, some experience to tell you which one of these is right for your style, then you need to be backtesting. Do yourself a favor. Stop trading without any sort of research or strategy, because you're just going to lose money. That's option A. Or option B is to spend the appropriate time testing your strategies, building out stats on what you do in order to build confidence in the approach that you're using. So there you go. Roberto UNH is up on the pre-market. I saw that. My dad owns a bunch of it. He's we talked about it this morning. I shorted puts on UNH. I did pretty well on that. I took a trade and took profits a little too soon. I'm not in the stock. I don't own any shares, but I shorted puts on it. So it was a trade. Anyways, let's keep moving. So again, how do I handle these ultimately? Well, painstakingly. That's the answer. I actually go for option D most of the time. I wait for structure because what I have found, and D is the most, in a weird way, D is the most risky. It's also the most potential reward because if I wait for structure to form, what happens if this happens? I risk the most in unrealized gains by waiting. But what I've found is that when you do nothing, sometimes you also catch the opposite move. And I don't know what's going to happen next. So let's just see. I've not moved my stop loss. I'm waiting for structure to form. I'm going to do the tricky thing here, which is to wait for structure to form. And I might get punished for that, or I may get rewarded for that. In this case, I'm getting rewarded. So everything works better or worse at certain times. To the people who said I take partials, right? Or I take profits, right? If you say you take profits, well, you missed this gain. You can always pick on a particular strategy when it doesn't look right. But everything works sometimes and everything works other times. Everything fails sometimes. So in this case, my approach actually is ideal, where I'm just waiting for structure because, oh my goodness. So now we've got a huge run higher. Okay, I could not have picked. I didn't pick this, I promise. I did not select this preemptively before we turned this on. But we just gapped above 2,000. I think I might have actually been in this trade. Believe it or not this whole move, but I remember being long gold. This is insane. But again, this is why we backtest. Now we're really testing my resolve, because where the heck do I trail a stop on this one? Truthfully, at this point, if you had this kind of move and we did get this kind of intraday, I am going to actually trail that stop right there. Because in reality, if you had that kind of outsized move, what time is this? July 2020? I don't even remember what was happening during that time. Obviously, COVID was like March, but or the breakout. But anyways, gold's ripping to new heights. It's going crazy. We've got this candle here where we paused. It looked like we had a big potential top out, and then we completely reversed and kept going higher. So in this case, this is the perfect example. You can see we are floating $3,321 on this trade. So what do we do now? Well, we've got the gap. Let's see what happens here. So we've got the gap. Something is weird here. Hold on. I might have run into an error or a bug or something. Something is definitely looking weird. Okay. We might have done something in the software incorrectly, but we're out of the trade. Ended up being a ginormous trade. Let's move on here. So I only took 2 trades, so I really don't have a lot of sample size on this. But when it comes to the trades here that we took, had we taken more, and when you are actually spending the time to do the back test, what I love about this, by the way, you can save your progress and come back to it. I think I probably just need to restart the software because I think I might have stopped it for like 10 minutes and talked. But anyways, we can see all the risk and performance metrics. We can see the total number of trades, the total profit, total number of losing trades, max consecutive profit trades. You have all these stats that will populate as you spend more time. You also get a calendar of your activity, trading activity by hour. You can look at it weekly, monthly. You can also select by time frame. So you get some serious analytics on the trading that you're doing. Now, obviously, I've only done 2, but you could continue this back test over. What I love is you can save your progress and come back to it. So, if I want to come back to this, right? So my project has been saved. But if I wanted to, let's say, go back to our homepage, you can see I can come back to that gold backtest later on. It's why the software is so ridiculously good. You can save your work, come back to it. So let's say you want to do a backtest and you're like, I want to take 500 trades on gold, but I don't have time to do 500 right now. Well, I can do 10 and then come back and do 20 more and then 25 more and then 10 more and then 5 more. And you can build it over time. So it gives you the chance to come back to your backtest and pick up where you left off. I mentioned this earlier, but I am so impressed by what Forex Tester has built. Currently, they're doing a 25% off discount. So let me tell you guys just about this really quick. So this 25% off discount is only between now, today, 8/15, right? So August 15th through August 18th. They're doing 25% off, which I don't own Forex. Someone asked me earlier. I'm not the owner of Forex Tester. They're a sponsor of today's stream, and a long-term friend of my channel. They're the best trading software that I know for backtesting. And if you are interested in taking your trading seriously, I recommend everybody, even if you're experienced, get a copy of Forex Tester. It's browser-based. You can pick it up. If you have some time this weekend, you can do some testing and you can test everything. They have so many symbols to trade. Like, just look at this. If I look up like US, well, hold on, sorry. If I do create new project and then I go look at all the things you can trade. You can trade individual stocks. You can trade ETFs. You can trade futures, Forex, cryptocurrencies. They have data on everything. I mean, that's actually crazy. Yeah, they have everything, man. You can trade indices, even like all sorts of stock markets all around the world. I mean, you could backtest to your heart's desire in this software, and you'll be better off for it. Again, most traders skip backtesting and just jump right into live markets, and they wonder why they're losing money. It's because you haven't done the work. You can't expect to just jump into trading, trade profitably right off the bat. It takes people years of work. This software, though, can speed up that process. I'm very confident in that. With the right backtesting tools, you can test concepts and throw them out the window if they're not working, or continuously improve by finding stuff that works better, refining it, improving it, and really sharpening. This is where you sharpen your axe, right? That is truly what backtesting is all about. And this software is the way to go for that. So check it out. Again, if you're interested in Forex Tester, the promo code NTFTO, that is Forex Tester Online. So NTFTO25 will get you 25% off Forex Tester only for today through this weekend. So if you want to try it out, if you want to get access to Forex Tester, it's a subscription, so you can cancel. I would recommend you just, if you want to do some testing, see if this is right for you, pick it up for a month. Just use the promo code, get 25% off. Try it for a month, test out your strategies, see if you like the platform. But I'm very confident that you're going to use it and you're going to be like, this thing is awesome, and you're going to stick with it because it's a great tool that I think every trader should take advantage of. Okay, guys, so that is the Forex Tester component of the live stream. Thank you again to Forex Tester and the team over there for supporting our work over the years, and for creating such a remarkable software for traders. I definitely, like I said, recommend everybody to be testing on Forex Tester and spend the time testing your strategies before you get into live markets. It's really key. Just an updated view of what's happening here in today's market. Let's just take a look here at what we've got going on. Stock market is just a tad higher. You did get some healthcare stocks ripping here this morning. So you had UNH, where is it? Came out in the 13F filing that UNH, that Warren Buffett took a stake in UNH, and so did a bunch of other institutions. Amazingly, right? When the chart goes down and everybody's panic selling, institutions swooped in, seem to have bought that dip. UNH was a trade that I placed on I shared on my stock market channel. But that has the indices a little bit higher. Actually, the Dow Jones really liking this, right? Because Dow Jones has some heavy healthcare names in it. But we're pushing higher here. Dow Jones actually hitting an all-time high today. Pretty impressive stuff there. NASDAQ just shy of its highs. S&P also hitting highs. Really, really interesting. Is it a one-time payment for a Forex tester? No, it's not. But what's awesome is you could just pick it up for a month, see if you like it, and cancel it anytime if you don't. And they've got 25% off with that promo code. Okay, so VIX, volatility index, is lower here this morning. Not surprised. We're looking at a 14.5 VIX, super low volatility. The dollar index is a little bit lower here this morning. Retail sales numbers, let's just check in on that again. So we had core retail sales. Let's see what we had. So retail sales data, they also revised the previous one higher. I saw some people saying that in the chat. So we had retail sales month over month came in a little bit lower than expected, but then they revised the previous month's number up. So retail sales, again, kind of a chop fest here. This is a 5-minute chart. We just went up, went down. I checked its lifetime. Oh, they do offer a lifetime, I believe. Am I wrong about that? It's been a while since I've checked their offers. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so maybe it's not a monthly thing. I'm sorry about that then. In that case, yeah. I mean, even if it's for a year, it's worth it to me. I mean, I would. The amount of money people just lose in the markets because they don't backtest is enough evidence to me that it's worth every penny to spend some money on backtesting and then just trade your heart's desire in there, save yourself a ton of money, and actually learn strategies that work. Silver is a little bit lower here today. Gold is mixed, still just no volatility in gold. We can actually see that in a Bollinger Band, I bet. Like if I were to, well, I could just use my extension zones indicator. Yeah, I mean, look at the difference. See, when gold is moving, these things are expanding, right? When gold is not moving, like it has been recently, you can see gold, the bands here are contracting. So when gold is just like super boring, you just get this kind of tight range effect. And it can be really easy to just kind of give money back to the markets just in a range like this. So I've just been not trading gold. I'm looking, sound like a broken record, but I'm looking for breaks lower or breaks higher. I am bullish on gold primarily at this time. I believe Edgefinder still has, yep, it has a bullish rating on gold. So I do like it to the long side. Gold and silver both getting bullish readings. So we'll see what happens there. Share the currency surprise meter readings. I may get to it. I may run out of time. I've only got a couple minutes, so I'm going to keep moving. If you have the Edgefinder, pull it up on your side. Last time I checked, interestingly, we had a little bit of softness in euro pairs. I actually sold euro CAD. We'll see. I would actually, it looks like it's going to try and break out here, but I shorted euro CAD with small size. I have willingness to add a little bit more shares, size to my short position. Euro pound is up a little bit here today. Dollar CAD, euro dollar. Yeah, euro dollar still sitting in no man's land. I was hoping we were going to get a little bit more of a discount here on euro. I do trade currencies very differently than I trade gold and indices, though. With currencies, I'm a lot more kind of mean reversion focused and sort of like long-term kind of counter trend. For the simple reason that currencies tend to drift sideways over time. Unlike stocks and gold, currencies typically just go back and forth, right? Which is great. If you're a trend follower, currencies can be a little tricky because, trends come and they go, right? So there's, a downtrend and then an uptrend. Long term though, they typically just kind of chop back and forth with a slight drift in the direction of a carry trade. Usually, not always. Sometimes the carry trade unwinds can be completely reversing of that effect. But one of the things that I like about currency trading is the choppiness, right? The choppiness is actually, to me, more attractive. Also, what is NZD USD looking like? New Zealand dollar. Okay, so US dollar getting actually kind of ticked higher here. Some mortgage data. We had jobless claims. CPI came in a little bit soft. PPI came in hot. Interesting. NZD USD actually looks kind of interesting to me on the long side. I'll keep an eye on this one. By the way, we do have an Edge Finder giveaway going on right now. The Edge Finder giveaway is ending today. So if you're not in the Edge Finder giveaway, let's make sure to share that. Today's the last day to join the Edge Finder giveaway. We'll be announcing a winner shortly. But if you're not in the Edge Finder giveaway, here's how you can do so. We're going to drop a link here in the chat. Here it is. Step one, if you want to join the Edge Finder giveaway, so you get a free copy of the Edge Finder if you win. We'll select one random winner. First step is to join the Telegram channel that's just been dropped in the chat right now. So step one, join the Telegram. Step two, just fill out this form here for a chance to win. Oh, there it goes. We got a fresh one right there. See that? It's almost like someone's listening to me. So just fill out the Edge Finder giveaway form right there. Beautiful. For a chance to win a copy of the tool. We jumped up a lot of subscribers, so thank you to everybody who's joined the Telegram and joined the giveaway. Best of luck with it. We'll be announcing a winner shortly. S&P 500 still above resistance here. NASDAQ. Stock still sitting at highs. Let's see what else. To me, it looks like dollar is likely headed back down towards those lows, but I'm sort of neutral to just slightly bearish on the dollar at this time. Let's take a look at oil too. Oil broke through support here. If we do get a rebound into this area, I'd be curious to see how if sellers are able to make a push back down to the 61 lows. Oil prices, if you're looking at economic data only, which is what I just pulled up, the Top Setups economic data only tab, oil is getting a pretty weak score. Is it a top setup right now on the simplified view? Not. Oh, it is. US oil is bearish reading. Okay, so if you get a pullback in oil, that's probably a short for me. How old are you? I am turning 29 this year, a couple months. Okay, so oil prices for me would be a possible short setup. I actually like this quite a bit. A retest like this 38.2 to 50% retracement zone, this area here. If we got a pullback into that area, to me, that looks like an opportunity to stay short biased. If I take that trade, I will, I'll send it in our Discord group. But oil's definitely on the watch list for me today. That actually looks like a pretty good trade, at least in my book. dollar CAD. Look at these dollar pairs. Some dollar pairs getting some bearish setups. So dollar CAD, for example, dollar CAD bearish setup. If it swings back up into this area, this may be a little bit more of a bearish setup to me on dollar CAD. Let's see. Dollar yen also getting a bearish reading here. Dollar yen looks like it may be in topping formation. You've got resistance over here looking at like that 151 level. Maybe putting in some sort of head and shoulders. If we were to break through support, to me, that would signal, okay, you probably have room to continue lower. I actually want to look at institutional flow on the Japanese yen really quick. This is one of my favorite things to check, is to pull up the Japanese yen on the COT data and see what institutions are doing. Nick, can you grow a beard? No, I cannot. I cannot. I'm actually kind of glad, because I shave every 2 days, every 3 days. But I know, people who have, that grow a lot of hair, facial hair, they have to shave like 6 times a day. So I'm glad I don't have that problem. Anyways, Japanese yen. There's been some selling in the Japanese yen, which is kind of interesting. But over the course of like the last year, you've had a lot of bullishness on the Japanese yen. We'll see if this we'll see if this turns into anything further, but I still think the bigger picture for the Japanese yen is a little bit of strength. It's taken some time to really show up. This is the Japanese yen currency index. It's taken some time, but I do think that there is room for the Japanese yen to continue to move higher. Part of the reason for this is interest rate projections, which, if I can pull this up here. So I want to look at interest rates data, and I want to look at interest rate projections, and I want to look at specifically just the Japanese yen. And what you can see here is that the projection for interest rates in Japan is expected to rise in the coming quarters. So we're talking about, they're expecting in the fourth quarter this year to hike interest rates. This is interesting because this is Japan, right? But look at the Australian central bank. They're expected to cut, right? So bear with me here. There's Australia. Here's Canada. Here's Europe. Here's the UK, right? New Zealand, US. What do you notice about all these charts? They're all moving down, right? But look at Japan. Japan is expected to hike interest rates. The Bank of Japan is kind of always the outsider, if you will. Or not always, but typically it feels like they are typically moving at their own pace. They're doing their own thing when other central banks are doing something different. So to me, this suggests that if you get kind of a slew of rate cuts in, other major economies, and the Bank of Japan is actually looking to hike interest rates. In fact, I want to look at the economic data just for Japan really quick. There is, to me, the potential that the Japanese yen could strengthen. GDP stats came in better than expected. The producer price index for Japan came in higher than expected also. Very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think that there is some strengthening potential for the Japanese yen. So when I look at yen pairs, I don't have the willingness to hold a short position at this time. It is a very costly trade to short yen pairs simply because the low interest rate that they offer ends up making it a very costly hold. So anyways, pound yen, sitting at resistance, euro yen. Dollar yen, Aussie yen, Kiwi yen. Those are three pairs we're going to look at really quick. Aussie yen, I don't love this chart. Kind of looks like it's still trending higher. Kiwi yen, choppy. I've traded this one. I traded it long for a while. Now I have more of a short bias, to be honest. And dollar yen, I have a short bias. Again, I think there's a possibility that may have been the high for dollar yen for this year. Maybe forming some sort of head and shoulders. We'll see. Oh, okay, that's my bad. I was just checking with the producers. So I thought we had Tom today. I must have been looking at the wrong day. Did I change something random in the calendar? Oh, I totally did. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up the stream here for today. We did some back testing. I just want to encourage you, if you are considering getting access to Forex Tester. We did 45 minutes of back testing with their software. The thing is amazing. It's a really good software. If you use the promo code that we shared earlier, I'll just drop that here one last time. They're currently doing, for this weekend only, it's a 25% off discount with the promo code NTFT025. It's 25% off their backtesting software. It's a remarkable piece of software. It really shortcuts the process of learning to trade, in my opinion, and is worth every penny. Check it out. Don't miss it. And then the last thing I'll mention here before we end stream is that we'll be announcing the Edgefinder giveaway winner shortly. If you want to be on the last call, if you want to join last second, there's two simple steps. Step one, join the Telegram channel. Maybe we can drop the link here in the chat. So step one, join the Telegram, which will link in the chat, or it's in the description below. And step two, actually it might not be because I changed the description. So you got to get it from the chat. Step two, enter the Edgefinder giveaway using this link here. That's going to wrap up the show here for today, guys. We'll announce the winner here shortly. The winner will be emailed a copy of the Edgefinder. So good luck to you. If you don't win, all good. We'll still be able to hang out on streams, and you'll be able to join our Telegram channel, which is still full of value. So there you go. All right. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back on Monday.
Thanks for watching today's show. Remember to subscribe if you're new and to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one. If you're looking for more free trading content, consider joining our Telegram channel, linked in the description down below, or find free courses, prop firm discounts, and broker sign-up perks on our website a1trading.com. That's all for today. We'll see you back tomorrow.